Hello, 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 and welcome to Three Amigos, Ink and Splatter, The Lonely Soul in the Darkness, Volume 1, Issue 1, Artists in the Spotlight. That's a mouthful if I say so myself. I'm your host, Marie Moldovan, and I have my co-host, Joe Mykut, joining me this evening to read a nice piece by featured artist Max Myers. Um, Basically, this is one of many podcasts or broadcasts that will be coming forth, and we will be reading pieces from contributors of the Three Amigos Ink and Splatter, Lonely Soul in the Darkness, Volume 1, Issue 1. We'll probably read one or two pieces per artist and feature them as we go along until we run out of artists and then move on to the next volume. Um, if you if you would like a copy, you can go to Amazon.com and get yourself either a grayscale copy or a color copy. The color copy is a little bit more expensive, but I would say that it is worth the buy because the artistry throughout the entire book is amazing, if I say so myself. The grayscale copy is quite a bit cheaper, but a lot of times there is a lot lost in the artwork when you do look at artistry, whether it is a photograph or an image drawn. There's a lot lost in a black and white image. Sometimes you can see different layers when there is color applied, but I mean, it's up to you. Right now, the grayscale copy can be purchased. I think it's on sale on Amazon. I think Amazon has it on sale for less than $10. Anyways, our featured artist once again, is Max Myers, and I'll get Joe to tell us a little bit about Max.
So about Max Myers, he gets his inspiration to write by a world of natural beauty, loving friendships, and the magical and mystical spiritual relationship between all things. Max has been writing poetry and short essays for the last 60 years. He's a self-taught poet and writer. He's also an artist, musician, and a beekeeper who's traveled around this beautiful country, seeing the profoundly impressive and magical sights and spending time meeting the wonderful people who make up the color and flavor of America. There's so much to observe and document, and as Walt Whitman said once, one discovers the song of thyself. Max has self-published several books, which are available on Amazon Books or Google Max Myers Books. And Max's featured work this evening is titled The Visitors, and I'll begin that for us now. Dusk had turned to dark before Lee and myself headed home. Just a few miles outside of town at the base of Table Hill, our home sat at the southwest edge of the hill on a quiet wooded area about a quarter mile off the main road. A small ranch with a couple of outbuildings, a small barn, and a corral. It was midsummer and there was about a half moon out this night. There were few neighbors out here, but about an eighth of a mile further round Table Hill lived a family of three, two young men and their father. The boys were in their early 20s, their father in their 50s. They were nice enough, except when the boys would decide to tie one on once in a while. Then you could hear them pounding on 55-gallon steel drums in rhythm like they were out in the jungle calling on some spirit god or something. Nothing ever seemed to happen out here in the middle of the country, just the way we liked it, too.
I remember we were listening to some soft music in the background as we spoke about our ride into town and the joy of being back out in the sticks. We turned off the main road and were driving up our road to the house when there was a flashing of light followed by a horrendous roar from up on Table Hill. Suddenly the truck died. No lights, no music, nothing. Just dead. We were close to the house, so I told Lee to go on up into the house. That I was going up the hill to see what was happening. Lee set off, and I, under the moonlight, began to climb the hill. It was just light enough to see where I was walking and not fall on my face. It took about 10 minutes to reach the top. I was stopped dead in my tracks as what I saw was hard to believe. There before me was a structure shaped like a pyramid without the point on top. It must have been 100 feet across and 40 feet tall. There was an opening just off the corner that I could see from where I was standing. I stood silently and watched for someone or something to come out of the doorway. There was no movement, so I approached the entrance. I was an opening to a long I was at an opening to a long hallway with an opening to the right, some 60 feet down the way. I could see the opening as it was lit from what was on the other side of it. I began my slow, cautious walk down the hall, listening intently for any sound that might bring me trouble, and I was prepared to bolt on a moment's notice.
I noted that the walls were filled with what to me looked like hieroglyphics, but somehow strange. I finally reached the doorway and was immediately taken back with what I saw before me. There were beings there, all right, large humanoid beings in these, what for a lack of better description, appeared to be control chairs. The beings were likely 12 feet tall, bearded, and dressed in the most beautiful brocade robes. They were clothed They wore clothed caps also, beautifully decorated over their long wavy hair. There was a row of these beings with perhaps 20 of these control chairs. The beings before the screens appeared to be asleep, or as I got closer, even passed out. The one closest to me seemed to be reaching for a lever on the chair when he passed out. As I looked, the others were too reaching for the same lever. I thought to myself that the lever must control the air mixture they need to wake up. Don't ask me why, but something inside me made me run to the last chair and pull the lever. As quickly as I could, I went to all the chairs and pulled the levers, then ran to the doorway to see what would happen next. To my surprise, the chairs began to make a humming sound, and the posture of the beings began to adjust in their seats.
They all faced screens which became illuminated, upon which I saw most chilling scene. There was my neighbor's children out in their yard pounding on their drums. They had an expression of being mesmerized like in a dream state. Standing before them were these creatures like nothing I had ever seen. They were translucent green creatures standing in a semicircle around the boys. They were swaying with the rhythm being pounded out. My sense with these my sense was that these were the vehicles by which the beings could explore the area. Surprisingly, that they could put the boys under a trance state condition while they made observations for the beings in the craft that had brought them here.
I thought of my wife being alone and possibly in danger. My heart jumped out my throat. I turned and bolted for the door, way out of the craft. As fast as my feet would carry me, I ran, jumped, and tumbled down the hill towards the house. When I was within shouting range, I called out to Lee. To my great comfort, she ran out of the house, completely unaware of the goings on upon the hill. She asked if I was okay, and as I was trying to catch my breath, she remarked about the drumming from around the hill. Don't ask what happened next, because I cannot tell you. I woke up from this dream and wrote it down as I had dreamt it.
Once again,
So,
that was a piece titled The Visitors by Max Myers. Narrated by myself, Murray Moldovan, and Joe Mykut. So you were going to say, Joe?
that was a great piece. I'm always a fan of the uh, encounters of the fourth kind and such. So I enjoyed this piece, and I enjoyed the the leave off with whether or not it was fictional or just a dream, perhaps, or if maybe it was something more. So great job, great piece of work, Max. I enjoyed reading it.
I definitely agree. Max has a few other pieces featured in the anthology. All of Max writing is, well, phenomenal, if I might say. Kind of reminds me of a, um, a wizard type individual that, a storyteller that you would want to sit with around a fire and definitely listen to his tales. Anyways, thank you, Max, for contributing to the anthology, and to everybody listening. Once again, you can get your copy of the anthology, Three Amigos, Ink and Splatter, The Lonely Soul in the Darkness, Volume 1, Issue 1, on Amazon. It's available both in color paperback and grayscale paperback. The grayscale is cheaper than the color copy, but I'm telling you, the color copy is definitely worth the buy. But if you have a lower budget, the grayscale is available. You can get it on Amazon, and that was Volume 1, Issue 1. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening or day, whatever time it may be. May it be pleasant for you. Take care. Bye-bye.